Who we gonna have as a guest today? So since I got on my dinosaur hoodie, we got dinosaur train. Yeah, what? Yo, I'm so very excited for this. And you know, when I got on a brown scarf now, when y'all see this brown scarf, I'm about to be mad. This is straight off the dome, Like, of course I got some little quick notes here, and y'all ain't gonna see the notes because they include some people's names. We're here to talk about the mess and what has happened to me. So don't worry, sit back and eat, because this is about to be a feast. If y'all seen dinosaur train in my videos before, mind your business. Like, what? Y'all know we gotta have a special guest as always. Like, what? But yeah, y'all, we're gonna do the intro today. We're gonna skip our turn up. I know. Don't beat me up. I know. Y'all like the turn up, but we have a lot to unpack here. So I think just this once we can skip. Just chill. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pick a song and I'm gonna do a little 1-2, and we're gonna jig to it together. I'm just trying to drive it once again. Body like a Benz. You don't need no clothes. Give me a little bit more. Won't you take it slow? I'm trying to make us feel like a Maserati. I'm just trying to drive.
Tryna have your face up, lock, put a show on. Body shape nice, tip top ain't knowing. I'm tryna catch a vibe, yeah. But you gotta talk to me nice. When we all alone, you know what's on my mind. Girl, I'm tryna say.
Okay, so let's get into the story time. Hey, just your content. We're back with a story time, and today's story time is gonna be about pool. Now, I have never got to sit down and actually talk about all the stuff that she did. So let's stop rambling and let's start talking, because it's all. I think we kind of always seen each other, but we didn't really hang out like that. But I honestly do not remember where I met her at, but I'm pretty sure we was like coolish in intermediate, and then in middle school it kind of got really, you know, we really got real close because we started hanging with Sweet all together as one big group, right? We used to do stuff like hang out after school, right? And it's always was at my house. We're gonna start with some of the gaslighting. The first incident that happened, we was at my house, right? My grandma came over with her boyfriend, right, at the time, because my grandma always got a new man. Sit that down. She came over with her boyfriend, and he gave me and my brother like $5 a piece, right? And like, to me that was like $30. I was like, dang, that's a lot of money. $5, baby, I could buy the whole family dollars with that. And one thing we used to always do was we would always go from my house to the store, and we always walk together. Keep this in mind, because we always walk together. We walk together, right, to the store. We will always get snacks and stuff. And now, mind you, we did that the day before, so she has food. This is not a video of me coming out and saying this because of the fact that, oh, we're not cool anymore. I've been plotting this before I even started telling story times. I was like, yeah, so he bought me $5, right? And he gave my brother $5, right? So my brother has his $5 or whatever. My brother is real careless with like money that's not online, so he be throwing his money all over the place. I'm more responsible, but sometimes it may slip through the cracks. I think at the time we were sharing a room, and my older brother was staying here also as well, so we would like to go sleep on the couch. We would just be sleeping on the couch because I didn't have this room to myself, because I started with this room, then it was my older brother's, then it was mine again. Me and my brother always been sharing a room with somebody, but y'all get what I'm saying. My money was on the floor, and I was like looking for my money. I'm tearing up. I'm like, damn, where's that? And because I'm thinking the money on the floor is my brother one, because he's always careless with his money. So I'm thinking like, you definitely put it up somewhere. No, I didn't. But I'm thinking like, definitely you put it up somewhere. So I'm looking for it, and I'm not asking my brother like, hey, where's the money at? I'm just like tearing up for the money, right? I just assume that's my money on the ground. So I'm like, okay. So I see it there. I see it there on the ground. I see it on the ground. And this is my fault, because I should have put my money up. So, mind you, we slept on the couch tonight. I wake up, I'm wiping the crust on my eye. And I wake up to her coming back in the house. I'm like, where you been? And the thing is about me, that's one bad quality of me. I will sleep for a long period of time. Like I have a bad habit of going to sleep on people when they at my house. I will go to sleep on you real quick. When people come to my house, I go to sleep. I don't know what it is. I get real extra tired of having to socialize extra more than I already have to that day. and I get real overwhelmed and I go to sleep. I go to sleep a lot. I used to go to sleep on Ponytail a lot. Every time she would come to my house, sleep. And she would have to walk herself out, or she would have to wake me up to walk her out. But we would be watching TV and I'll be knocked out, and she'll have to wake me up and be like, can you walk me to the door, because you over here sleeping. I'm like, my bad. But like, I mean to fall asleep, but like, I just be real good and tired when I gotta socialize with people. So I woke up, she coming in the house with bags in her hand, and I'm like, and she like, oh, I got you this, that too. And I'm like, girl, you ain't got no money, so where you get money from? The thing about it is, you walk to the store with no money, which was the thing that got me, because it's like, you telling me you walk to the store with no money in hopes of just having a dream. So she's like, oh, I stopped by the barber shop and I got money from my uncle. He gave me $5, right? He gave me $5. Because that wasn't even making no sense. So I'm like, so you specifically have $5. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So she putting her stuff up in the fridge, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So I walk back there. I'm like, y'all, that was the one situation. I ain't never fought that money, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. I ain't never fought that money. And she showing me the receipt, trying to prove it with her life. Like, yeah, $5 and some change. See, where would I have got the change if he didn't give me no money? We used to always do each other's hair, right? So one time she had that gold eco gel, right? And that's before I started seeing it in Family Dollars. Where are you getting this gold eco gel from? I'm like, dang, I really want that. Like, I want to try that. That look like it's gonna be so fun to have. So she's like, oh, you can't get this down here. You can't get it down here. My aunt drove me up to another, basically another town in a country. She's like, oh yeah, my aunt drove me there, and so that's where we got it from. So I'm like, oh, okay, like, I'm like, I'm not even questioning it, because I'm like, I never seen that before. So obviously she had to get it from somewhere else. One day I'm just casually scrolling in our local hair store, right? So I'm at the local hair store, and I'm looking around. I'm just like, because I never went to the hair store for actual products. I would always go to our Family Dollars. I would never get my hair products. I still, to this day, I barely get hair products out of it, because they be so expensive for no reason. Like, why am I paying $20 for a small light can of Eco? No, you're overcharging. And then when I go to the Family Dollars, it's like 30. I'm like, okay, that's better. I never went in there for actual hair products. Like, you would think going to hair store for hair store products, but no, because the people in there, they always think you stealing. So every time you go in there, especially with this skin color, you always gonna get looked at. They always gonna stare at you. Because one time I was in there and I was getting some lashes, so I'm walking around the store with the lashes. I put the lashes somewhere random, because y'all know I'm getting, so I put it around somewhere random, which I shouldn't have had did that. I should have put it back, but I put it somewhere random, because I'm like, I don't feel like I'm not buying this anymore. So I put it somewhere random, and I got some other lashes. So I come back to the front. She talking about some, oh, where's them lashes you had? Where's them lashes? Where you put them lashes at? I'm like, who you talking to? Because first of all, you ain't even talking to me, baby. I had to spend for night. The lady like, oh, where the lashes at? Go get them and find them. So I walk right back to where I left them at, and I bring the lashes to the front. I'm like, and I put it on her thing. I was like, this is it right here. And she was like, oh, you gotta pay now. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I whip out my cash. I was like, that was my favorite time to have cash. You ain't never seen me came up in here stealing. You see me all the time. I walked in that same hair store. So I go to the back. I see gold eco gel in the same size she had, like the little regular, like, oh, let me see if I can read this in this type of size. I'm like, what I'm not here for, like, you. Let's keep going. So the next situation, right? Let's talk about Instigator a little bit. So I always had a mild interest in Instigator. Every single boy that I would say I like even now to my little crush from last, I should just give him a name. We're gonna call him Hyper. I think I put Hyper in the last video, but I don't know. We're gonna call him Hyper, like I said. Like, it's like every single boy that I told her I like, she will always out of blue be like, oh, I used to like them too. Oh, I used to like this person too. Like, I had a old boy best friend back in the day, like back in the second grade days. And I was like, yeah, that used to be my boy best friend. She was like, oh yeah, I used to like him. Like, I liked Hyper. She like, oh yeah, I like Hyper too. I said, I told her about my little mild interest in Instigator. She like, oh yeah, Instigator. So she will always tell me a story that it insinuated that these boys liked her, right? Now keep this in mind. And this was back in like our middle school days. And we're going to talk about one of them situation, right? So we used to go to our local pool a lot. So we went to the pool and she would always come with me. Mind you, we don't live in the same neighborhood. She was always coming over to my neighborhood because she was always in my house. So we went to the local pool, right? So we would always be in the pool. But the girls, they didn't like me. We would go to the neighborhood pool and then we would be like low-key getting stares and like getting because people was mad that I fought the girl in my very first like story time. One of the girls in that video, if y'all listen a little bit, she was like, they said the girl name, but I forgot what I named that girl, but she was like, oh, get her blink, and that was Instigator's sister. She was Instigator's older sister. I don't know where she went at, but I think she went off and lived her life because I ain't never seen her again. I never did nothing to her, but she just didn't like me. She would be saying little slick comments and Pooh would pick up on it and Pooh would be trying to tell me, but I was too busy flirting with Charleston's cousin. And mind you, he like 3-4 years older than me. So I'm like, but he was T, y'all. But I was too busy minding my business with him. So I think it was making her mad because we would always be at the pool and Charleston be like, oh yeah, I see what y'all doing. I see you and my cousin because y'all just. But she also had a crush on my stepdad, so I was like, So she would be like, she was like basically saying that Charleston said that the reason her lady parts are so overgrown is because she's a real woman. Now, mind you, she also hung out with Charleston and Queen B. She also hung out with them a lot. Even when we started beefing, like, she would still be hanging out with them. She always hung out. That's another thing. She always hung out with people I didn't like until they did something with her, and then she would always get cool back with them. So she was at the pool, right? And mind you, Instigator and Charleston used to always be going back and forth. I was shipping them so hard. I was like, just get together, just be together. Because him and Queen B didn't make no sense to me. It never made sense to me. But him and Charleston will always go back and forth, and that's why Queen B was mad because Charleston was like in his face that one time, and she tried to be messy and tell me about it. But you worry about me, but your man over here flirting with your friend, your real close homegirl. You worry about me. But anyway, like I said, basically she was mad because I was like messing with the cousin, right? So she will always be like, oh, I don't even really want to go to the pool with you because you always leaving me. And mind you, the thing is, I will always try to get her to be in the session with me. Like I will talk to her, and I get, sometimes you don't want to talk to people when they, flirting and da. One time they was drowning me, right? Like they was picking me up, slinging me underwater and holding me under the water, and he used to be drowning me. Like the cousin, he used to be drowning me, like for real. And one time I'm like, oh bro, help me, like Pool, help me, come help me, Pool. She like, no, drown her. I'm like, that's how you really feel? Like, and she tried to play it off, but she literally low-key walked away. So she was kind of like trying to be messy, like, oh, drown her. How cool can you look in a swimming pool trying to walk away? She was the one that also, taught me what I know about the pool. So it's like, I give you your credit there, but you still did a whole lot. And then she would like tell me like, oh no, Instigator, he y'all, he peeped me, right? Like he be flirting with me, he be touching me, he be XYZ in the pool, right? Y'all know I had to get a T for y'all. Like, give me a high five, stop. I went to Instigator. So I was outside my house, right, just minding my business, having a casual day. He was walking down with his brother, right? His little brother name is Music Maker. He was walking with Music Maker, and they was walking down the street. So I'm like, he also used to be friends with Kisser. So I think he was outside talking to me. Well, Kisser was trying to talk to me and trying to bash me to Instigator, like, oh, she don't even really talk to me. She don't talk to me, so she ain't gonna talk to you. She don't like you. Because she don't like me, she don't like you. Who said that? He would always try to be messy because he would see me talking to him, and he don't like that I would be talking to him, so I would do it on purpose because I know that you didn't like me talking to him, so I would be talking. He would be like, oh, she ain't gonna talk to you, she bougie, she ain't gonna talk to you. Instigator came up talking to me, so we started talking, right? And I'm like talking, and we both ignoring what he's saying, and he's like, Instigator turns around and he's like, why are you still talking? Like, she not worried about you. Why you keep talking to her? Like, and I'm like, nah, never, y'all messy. I'm talking to Instagram. I'm like, yeah, you know your girl Pool, da-da-da-da, and I'm talking to her about something else. And I forget what I was talking to him about, but I was just like, yeah, you know your girl Pool, da-da-da-da, right? And he was like, who? He stopped me dead in my tracks. He's like, who? Who my girl? Who my girl? I'm like, yo, girl, Pool, like, yeah, like, I got word that you like her. Like, I got word that you, Who said that? Like, with a dead serious face. Like, I ain't never seen his face that straight in my life. He was like, who? I got word that you like. And I was trying to keep it peaceful at this point. And he was like, did she tell you I like her? And I was like, we really was kind of getting into it at that time. So I chill. But I did tell him. We was getting into it at the time and she was bashing my name. So I'm like, you know, let me get the deets anyway. So I'm like, yeah, yo, girl, Pool, da-da-da-da. He was like, no, that's not my girl. And he was like, I don't like her. I don't know why she told you that. Call her right now. Call her right now. He like, how you get, open your phone for me. Open your phone. How you get? Because I'm about to call her right now. I'm going to call her. Actually, you don't got to call her. I'll call her off your phone. Give me your code. As soon as he go to put it in, it died. I'm like, but I wanted to see the mess, but I did, so I was trying to refrain him back from doing that. But also I was like, okay, whatever, you said it, so I don't care. Like, what, you ain't gonna fight me because you said it. But the phone died, so I guess it spared her that day. And that a whole nother situation happened with me and him, and Kissy was mad. And she had this like church that she used to go to. Now there was 2 separate camps. So the first one we went to, she kind of knew them. Second one we went to, she only knew like 1 or 2 people. Mind you, we used to do each other's hair every day. We would do it before we go to the camp, right? And her grandma will always take us. We went to the camp. She left me most of the time. And there was also this girl there that was kind of autistic, and you could tell she was kind of dyslexic in a way, because she could not like really read the passages we would have to read. Now mind you, I was new. This was my first time coming. I ain't never came before, so I didn't know what I was doing there, but I was just there because she was there and she wanted me to come. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come, I'm gonna take along. I'm just there, I'm trying to help her like read, but her and Pooh was beefing, and Pooh was lucky like being a mean girl to her, and I felt some type of way about that, because I'm like, you could clearly tell she's kind of dyslexic. I've always had like been a type of person that I always tend to befriend the, like, how can I say it in like a nice way that's not like rude. Like, the person that like most people tend to hate is the people I tend to love. I tend to gravitate towards people that people always say like, don't mess with them, or I don't like them, and they try to jump them. I don't like when people do that, so I tend to gravitate and I tend to be their friend a lot. And I don't know why I do it, but it's like, I don't know if I have like a thing where I want to like be the friend. Like, I just feel so, it's not that I even feel bad, it's just like I'm always tend to gravitate and talk to those people. It's always been a thing about me. So she was like kind of being rude to her, and I guess they was beefing before, but you could tell the girl was not she was not really there. I'm like, why are you beefing with her, and she's kind of has autism or something like that? So she was like going back and forth with the girl, but she was kind of being a bully with some of the other girls, like, and I don't even know if I'm ever getting into them. They basically side characters, but she was some bunch of side characters that was family of Hyper. But she was kind of like, latching on to them, and she kind of was leaving me. So I started, talking to the girl. So we like talking, and she like, can you help me read this? And I'm like, yeah, I can help you read this. So I'm helping her read it, and I'm reading her passages when it's her turn. I'm like, yeah, this is this, I'm knocking it out the ballpark. I'm like, yeah. And it's like, Pool is kind of being like too overly aggressive for no reason. She's just like, I don't fuck around, I don't mess with her, I don't like her. They're arguing back and forth because the girl kind of clocking tea and she clocking tea. So it's like but at the end of the day, we will always watch like a little movie or something like that. She will always go across the church and go sit on the other side. Now mind you, this church was kind of grouped in like grade levels, so depending on what grade levels you're in a different group. Let's just skip ahead, because that whole situation, she basically was leaving me a whole bunch in that church. She would always go talk to these other boys and talk to this other group of girls, and I was like, I told her like one of the boys was kind of attractive, but she was like, yeah, that's my bestie. And it's like they started getting closer. That's all I was like, yeah, okay. She barely introduced me. Like, she introduced me like a T-bit. And it's like, if you want to introduce someone, why not incorporate them into your group? Why would you invite somebody and then go off and do what you want to do? Where did you think I was finna go? When did you think I was that social to where I'm gonna just start making a whole new bunch of friends in your church with people you've been knowing since you was a teeny whopper? I don't know these people. Now, mind you, these used to last like I think it was 1 week or 2 weeks or something like that, but it felt long. So Friday came around and she basically left me again. And mind you, this Friday, this was the last time we was gonna be at that church for the program thing. So we was going to the movie. Before I even left, I told her, I cannot get to my mom. I cannot contact my mom. My mom was at work. Now, mind you, my mom told me afterwards, you could have just called me. I would have gave you the money. But it's like the principle of, I was like, I don't have no money. She's like, okay, I'm getting money from my people, so I'll pay for you. My grandma gonna pay for your ticket. I'm like, okay, I'll pay you back. She's like, no, you good, you good, you good. And I'm like, okay, when we get to this movie theater, you're paying, and you're paying for me because I don't have no money. I don't have no money right now. And I was thinking about calling my mom, but look, y'all, I was scared. I was scared she was gonna be like, no, I ain't paying for that because did you do your chores? And I didn't want to do my chores, so I ain't want to tell her I ain't want to do them chores. So I was not trying to call her because I'm like, no, she gonna try to make me do some chores. She gonna try to ask me if the house clean, and no, this house ain't clean. But she told me you should just call me afterwards, and I was like, oh, okay. And mind you, we get to the church, I see Hyper. I'm like, Hyper ain't been coming that whole week. I ain't seen him not that whole week. It was a whole nother boy I was focused on. I was like, oh, he fine, did it. But Hyper came, and I'm like, where you came from? I'm like, girl, did you know he was gonna be here? And she like, yeah. And I'm like, what if I decided to dress bummy today? And she was like, it don't even matter because you look good. I'm the one that looked terrible. And she was like, yeah, I know because they texted me before we left. So you intentionally left out the fact that my crush was going to be at this event because you felt some type of way. Like, and mind you, y'all, I probably didn't look good. I probably looked a mess because I always used to look a mess. So we get to the movie theater. She talking to somebody else. She low-key ignored me. I'm with the other girl, and I'm like, bro, what am I finna do? So she low-key made me mad at the theater because she acting like she don't want to talk to me. She acting like she want to go talk to these twins. So I'm like, oh, okay. Chilling. And I'm telling like the girl, I'm like, oh, she not finna pay for me. I'll just not eat because like I'm not finna go up to nobody and ask. So I'm like, I'm not finna eat. She's like, no, that's messed up. That's messed up. So she went to one of the teachers. Like, she's like, she's not trying to pay for her. She brought her here and she not trying to pay for her. That's weird. Because you know they was already kind of beefing. I was like, oh Lord, where did I start? The lady went up to her. She was like, did you bring her here and you wasn't trying to really pay for her like that? And she was like, told her to come over. She wasn't coming over. And no, you didn't. Cap. And you knew how uncomfortable I was because you hang around these girls that I don't really too much like that because I don't even really know them like that. And so it's kind of weird. So the lady ends up paying for me. And to this day, lady, if I ever see you again, I'm buying you whatever you want. She really paid for me, and she bought me one of those like little snack deal things. And we didn't even sit in the same area because she went and sat with them friends, and she was trying to call me over to come hang with them. And I'm like, I saw about this lady real ghetto. She real ghetto up in the theater. She talking mad loud. I'm like, lady. So the lady is like, oh girl, you want my popcorn? So she filling up my popcorn. I'm eating it, being a big bag, eating it. She filling up popcorn more. I'm eating it. She like, you didn't want the whole thing. She had a big large bag. She just gave me the whole thing and they up and left. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, you ain't got to tell me twice. Free popcorn. So she called me over and I ended up going and, sitting with them and whatever. But I didn't want to leave the girl. So I'm like, if you want to come with me, you can come with me. She's like, no, I'm good. I'll just talk to these people and da-da-da-da. That was the last time. And we kind of got into it after that because it was kind of like, you keep doing weird stuff. One day I was at my house and she was over, right? And she just made me so angry. No, I went in my brother's room. So I went in his room because I knew she was in my room, like talking to my little brother. So I'm in my room just minding my business because I'm like, I don't even know why I still let her in here. Like, I don't even really like you like that. So she's like, oh, I'm about to go, So she leaves. I'm so irritated. So I'm like, I'm finna go tell my brother. So they both in the living room playing around, right? So I'm like telling them, I'm like, bro, she irritated me so bad. She bringing me to these churches. She leaving me. She doing this and that. She being weird with the girls. She da-da-da-da going in. So my brother's laughing, right? And he's kind of going in at first too. But then he kind of slows down. He's like, And now the thing was, they was going in and out of my kitchen, in and out of the kitchen, and laughing. And I'm like, I'm not peeping nothing at first. They going in and out of the kitchen. Now, mind you, she used to ride her bike over here. So she had her bike in the lawn. So I look outside to check, and I see the bike going. So I'm like, oh, okay. I walk in my kitchen because I'm done ranting. I'm like, I'm finna go get me something to drink too, because they went in there, got them something to drink, and came back. So I walk in there, and now, mind you, my brother stopped saying stuff. Mind you, okay, let me map it out for you. So this is a wall, right? And it's like an open wall. It's like a little, you can walk into, well, no, living room and then kitchen on the other side. But on the other side of the wall of the living room, it's like a little mini like laundry. I walk in the kitchen, I see her by the laundry room just ducking and listening. Y'all want to ask what I did? I walked out the house. And mind you, y'all, my mom was not here. My mom was at work. I walked out the house. I walked all the way to the park. And I was sitting on the park swing. And I hear her like kind of jump out and scare my brother. But my brother already knew she was there. My little brother. And my brother's following after me. He's like, I tell her, get back in the house. Get in the house. Get in the house. Get in the house. Get in the house. I'm like, no. Because she not finna da-da-da-da. I don't care. I don't care if she heard me. And I hope she heard every word I said. Da-da-da-da, right? He get me to walk back to the house. I walk back in the house. She at the door. She at the door and she's screaming. I'm not even saying nothing at first. So she's screaming, she going, and she like, I don't care, you know how I feel, and you know there was no food for me to eat. Because I was going in about it. She was like, you know there was nothing for me to eat, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm walking in my brother's room. I'm in the closet. We in the closet arguing. I was like, I don't care. And I was screaming back. And so we just sitting there screaming at each other for mad long, like just screaming, like, oh, I don't care. I always treat you like a sister. I always looked at you like a sister, and you gonna do this to me? You always talking about me, da, da, da. And I was like, I don't care what I say. I'll say it to your face. You know you dead wrong. You brought me there with them people, and you added. So we going in for a long time. So we end up in the kitchen, sitting on the floor. I'm telling y'all, we screaming at the top of our lungs. My brother's just sitting there dying. I'm on the floor. I'm like, I don't care, because you weird, and da, da, da. Why my mama walking? When my mama walked in the house, it went from, girl, I don't give a fuck, I don't care about you, to, she like, oh, hi, Miss Ontario's mom. And I'm like, don't talk to my mom. I don't care. She's like, do you still want to go to the church with me? Do you still want to go to the new church with me? We did like an hour and 30 minutes worth of arguing just to go to the church again. And it was my fault. Because I still agreed to go, because it was a real good gaslight. You know what I'm saying? And when we went to the other church, it was much better, only because she didn't know nobody really. But there was this girl there that had a real funny laugh. She had me dying in the car. Like, her laugh was, I used to just make her laugh just because her laugh was so hilarious, bro. Like, your laugh is so funny. So there was this boy, Yin, because he had a best friend that I used to talk to, and his name is gonna be Yang, obviously, but he's not even involved in the story, so it's like, yeah, he ain't got nothing to do. We had a whole situation, but long story short, when we had our situation, she told me that he was still messing with his ex. Now, mind you, they was best friends, but they never crossed the lines of being best friends. They was always just best friends. So we started talking, right? And he's a whole nother situation by himself, but he made me so angry about, like, I'm telling you, he made me so angry. We started talking, and so she was like, basically telling me his whole entire past, because, you know, they was cool. Because mind you, when we first started talking, I didn't tell her because I didn't want her to know, because I already knew she was gonna try to mess it up some way. She's like, yeah, he's talking to this girl. She's like, oh, don't tell him. But the reason I told him is because it's critical, because why would I want to stay with a boy that's talking to somebody else? He already kind of guessed. He kind of guessed. And he was like, dead set about that guess. He told me he was talking to other people, and I went to him and I'm like, do you have a girlfriend? He was like, no, who told you that? They lying. I've been stopped talking to her. You know, that was a situation from the past. And he's like, who told you that? When I tried to lie about it, he was like, no, you lying. It was her, because that's the only person I ever see you with that know my business. That's the only person that I see you hang with that know me and know my business. So it was her. And I was like, what can I say? What can I say? No, it's not her. She didn't say that. Me and him went through our little, back and forth. One day we was on the court, and I was showing somebody else, and I think it was Purple. But I was showing Purple the messages, and she just so happened to be in the conversation. And mind you, she already knew about the situation, so I was like, I don't really care. She goes back and she tells him, and I'm like, okay, like, she talking about some, oh, I showed it to a whole group. It was you two people that already knew the situation. I told them the whole situation, so them reading it ain't gonna matter because they already know. On the thing, like, trying to be messy, right? And mind you, I stopped really talking to him at this time, so it was kind of messy of you, because why you bring my name up in your conversation and don't even got nothing to do with anything. She tried to be messy and stuff, and that was more when we moved into high school. So at that time, I was kind of like slowly trying to, you know, make my way downtown, walking south, bases fast, and I'm homebound. He texted me, he was like, why is she saying this? And he showing me the screenshot, because he messy dude. He's showing me the screenshot. He's like, your friend over here talking about, why would you show people our messages? And I'm like, you already knew she sent the messages. You already knew that. So it's like, what are y'all both talking about? What are y'all both talking about? She always used to tell me, oh, I fought this person, oh, I fought that person. She would always tell me, I gave to some boy, and you know, I ain't got no gag reflex. And it's like, okay, what are you trying, like, what do you want me to do? And then she tried to make me go over to some random boy house, like, that she was dealing with. And I'm like, I'm not going over to no random boy house. I'm like, no, because why would I go? And I probably was down at the time, but I'm like, in my back of my head, I'm like, no, I'm not going, because, like, you know, I make up a dumb excuse, but I'm like, I'm not going. Like, why would I go to some random boy house because you talking to him and you want me to come with you? Obviously it's a safety thing, but I'm telling her not to go in the first place, like, at all. No, tell him to come see you. Like, what? Like, meet up at a public place. Like, if you say, let's go to the parking museum, like, I'm like, okay, whatever, cool. But why would you go to his house? She was cool with a bunch of people that I do not like. Like, I wasn't messing with. It was like when I would stop being cool with somebody, it was like she would get extra cool with them. Like, extra real cool with them, real acquainted. Picture frame them. When I fell out with them, still talking to them. When I fell out with Queen Bee and them, still talking to them, still being buddy with them, and then telling me stuff about them, saying, oh, they always just talking to me. No, you invite the talk. Like, my ops may come around me and start trying to do weird stuff and start trying to talk to the people around me, but nobody is going to come up to you and talk to you that doesn't feel invited to. And I don't care. If your ops come up to you and talk to you, they don't feel threatened. You are inviting them, and you're probably talking back to them. And that's why I don't like people that talk to people that I don't like. Because I feel like you invite the conversation because they feel comfortable to talk to you. Because you invite the conversation. You know, be buddy with them and then be like, oh, I don't understand why she's talking to me. I don't understand why she's talking to me. Because you talk back. Don't think I'm dumb. Like, I'm not dumb. I've never liked riding the bus like that. But I really didn't like it back then. When I started beefing with them, I used to sit at the front, and she would be like, oh, they started trying to talk to me, and yeah, because you was talking to them back. You think I'm dumb? Or even I was told, like, you know, the saying, like, watch people that talk to people that you don't like because they probably talking about you together or something like that, something of that sort. I've been had that feeling since I was little. I don't like people that talk to people I don't like, and I promise you, like, I will cut you off about that. I cut her off about that multiple times because I was like, I don't like that you talk to people I don't like. She basically called some girl stink. Like, she used to call some girl stink, and she called her stink and said, like, she needs some Febreze or something like that, or something is, but her preference, but she was dead wrong in the situation, and I don't care. I still stand on that. I called her and I was like, you're dead wrong, and you did it, and you know, I was taking up for the girl because I'm like, no, that's weird, and you want me to cut her off and stop talking to her about that when you were the one in the wrong? And she's like, you weird because why you always got a problem with me talking to people that you don't like, but you talking to her? The thing about it is, I'm not finna be cool with them people the next day. I've never did that. I've never been like a on and off person. The only person I was really on and off with was her, and we would go long periods of time not talking because she used to do weird stuff. If you make me mad, I'm gonna, like, you do something, I'm gonna cut you off, and it's gonna be for a long time. Like, I may forgive you in the future, but at that moment, no, we not talking. Like, we're not. No. I'm like, first of all, it's two different situations because those people. You're friends with my obvious of ops. The ops that might pull up to my crib. I'm friends with girls that you talk about, and then you're probably going to be friends with again. And then guess what? They were friends again after a while. So I'm like, okay, see exactly what I mean. Like, by the time they got back friends, was I still friends with Queen Bee and them? No. I wasn't friends with Charleston until high school. I never got back cool with Queen Bee after that situation. But people that I want my fave from, you're friends with. You don't want your fave from this girl for real. You just called her stink, and so she's mad. So it's like I was talking to the other girl. I'm like, no, you're right in the situation. She's dead wrong for that. Like, you shouldn't be going around like calling people stuff. But when it happened to you, then you mad. Since she's getting called names, it's cool and it's funny. It's ha. Oh, y'all, I got this white stain on my lip. Oh Lord. Okay, so one day we was in the hallway, right? And I'm gonna just jump from situation to situation. If y'all haven't noticed in this conversation, I'm talking to Fake at the time, right? Because I was still cool with Fake. I'm talking to Fake at the time, and he with Hyper. So they coming out of class and they telling me, Hyper's telling me like, oh, you're just so much better when you're not trying to be a ghetto hood rat. Basically is what he said. When you were trying to be a hoodlum and act like you're from the slums. I'm kind of bothered. You don't know me. Like, you're just so much better when you dropped Pool, because Pool, it was like, she's so rude. I don't like her attitude. Now, mind you, she claiming that they real good friends, but I'm like, why he over here talking to me about you? Like, I was more on the fact that why you calling me a hoodlum, but he's like, you're just so much better when you dropped Pool, because she was like so rude, and I feel like y'all was bouncing off each other's energy, and like she was kind of bringing you down. That's why I didn't really want to like talk to you, like, or get close to you, because I already knew you was still friends with Pool. I like you so much better when you're not friends with Pool. Ain't y'all cool? Like, and this is the stuff that used to be going on in middle school. Like, y'all are so messy. Like, how you gonna tell me, how you gonna be cool with her and then tell me you don't like me hanging around her because she's the ghetto and I act like a hood rat around her? But the thing was, he was not even like real classy himself. He was like a real jokey, like nonchalant dreadhead before nonchalant dreadhead became a thing. Hey, they all messy. I'm telling you, the boys was way more. Y'all see, the boys is made way more messier than the females. After I fought Queen Bee, she texts me and she's like, oh yeah, I talked to Queen Bee, and Queen Bee texted me and she's like, who won that fight? And she said, I won the fight, but I was pulling a lot of hair. It was a whole lot of hair pulling. Let's see you step in the field, because throughout throughout my whole time of existing and knowing you, I've never seen you fight once. Never once. Can y'all give me some set rules to things you cannot do in fighting? And y'all say, oh, a whole lot of hair pulling. When we first started the fight, she had on a bonnet. I had my hair pulled back into a ponytail. This same little ponytail I got, but it was green. So how was it a whole lot of hair pulling? Like, of course her bonnet came off, but when we first started, she had on a bonnet. So what hair was I pulling? Because her bonnet didn't come off until she got on the ground. What hair was I pulling? Oh, okay. I ain't never seen you fight once, so how you gonna say, oh, it's a whole lot of hair pulling? Snatched her at the end by her hair because I got tired of playing with her. And mind you, she got longer arms than me. She taller than me and got longer arms than me. So I'm like, that's the only, I gotta get you close to me. Like, my hair's long, but you got on some long extensions, locks. And so I had to get her close to me some way. How did you want me to get close to her? It was a good opportunity because her hair slung my way. So now tell me the rules of fighting, and I'll abide by them next time, okay?
Yo, y'all niggas ain't shining like me, nigga. Look at my wrist, look at my neck, nigga. Yo.